what's your ideal trade deadline? I want both defensemen, maybe all three, including Mark Stahl, traded.
Fair.
If they keep Nick Seeler and it's under $3 million, I guess I can live with it. I still think that's an overpay, but whatever. Scott Laughton, I want held on to until the summer, because you just said I don't think his value goes down. I think it actually goes up.
You think it goes up?
I think when the Flyers make the playoffs and like
people watch Scott
take
Laughton
Carolina
in the
to
playoffs.
7 or something, win around, whatever it might be, and then a team like Toronto, who are the serial, oh my God, what just happened? We blew it somehow. Team, when they get the shit kicked out of them by Florida, they're going to go, how can we be more like Florida? And they will go, you talked about the Tanner Jeannot package. Here you go for Scott Laughton. And
it's a fair point.
Problem solved. Like, now you've actually gotten more for Scott.
And you're already...
And it also feeds into my other desire. This team, when they're really going to need assets, is down the line. Because if you want to open up that window, that means you have to continually be restocking, but also have enough to go buy when you need to buy when you have a chance to win it all. You do that when Michkov gets here, having extra assets.
It's a reasonable point.
Ask for futures for Scott Laughton, 2025, 2026. Now you have something to spend when it's time to spend, and you also still get to draft and hopefully be able to replenish your system so you don't have a 2-year window, you have a 7-year window.
It's a reasonable point. And I do think, speaking to your argument about if teams see him do Scott Laughton things in the playoffs, they might be more willing to overpay for him in the summer. I don't know if this is the reason why he's playing better, but I know how hockey men think. Like, his surge over the last few weeks may just be because he was cold and now he's hot and it just happened to be right now. But the story that people in the game are going to tell themselves is that when the game started mattering more, Scott Laughton upped his game.
Oh, yeah.
That's the story they're going to tell. Because Scott Laughton right now, like, if Ryan Poehling isn't the 1C right now, it's Laughton. Yeah. Laughton might be their 1C at the moment.
No, it's going to be mini Tkachuk theory. Like, yeah, Matt Tkachuk, October, November, December.
He's good, darn good player.
He was fine.
Yeah.
Playoff Tkachuk. He was fine. January 1st came. Oh, he's the best fucking player in hockey again.
Exactly.
No, that it's going to be. And listen, these two players are worlds apart, but you see how teams talk themselves into this dumb shit. Like, I just talked myself into re-signing Nick Seeler, even though I don't want to. You see how teams do these things. All right.
Yeah, so we do have a comment. I do want to read this because it's interesting from JC's. And I will read out the tweet from Frank Saravalli. It more or less matches what we have just spent the last half an hour talking about.
Oh, I read it wrong.
The tweet is, still 3 days to go, but sounds increasingly unlikely that the Flyers will be re-signing both Sean Walker and Nick Seeler. They've got a good feel now on what both will cost. Meantime, they're fielding trade offers for both and will weigh return versus extension. One likely trade it. I did just predict about 10 minutes ago that Sean Walker is traded and Nick Seeler is re-signed. I'm just saying it kind of lines up with what the insiders are tweeting out in the moment. That has always been my expectation. It remains my expectation.
In order to keep one, whichever one,
right?
They need to get the deal done prior to 3 o'clock Friday, right?
Well,
like,
not necessarily.
I mean, like, I guess you can have the agreement in principle, but I don't want to miss the trade deadline and then have a question mark.
It's fair. I think it's probably, it's not necessary, but it is best for public relations that if you keep Sean Walker, you have a contract to extension to announce. If you keep Nick Seeler, you have an extension to announce. It's not like, well, we kept him because we didn't have good enough offers and we're going to keep negotiating with him over the next month. It might play out that way, that they ultimately re-sign Nick Seeler to a 3-year contract worth $2.75 million a year. But in the interim, people are going to lose their damn minds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We all silly like the mayor.